can you pay? I mean, privately you can pay to have, if you're even aware of it in the first place, you can pay. And I think is it £35?
That's right. Yeah.
To have the test. This is probably a very difficult question for you to answer, but had you have been given the information about it, even though you were going through the NHS and do that, would you have paid for it yourself?
Absolutely. I mean, what's £35 as opposed to having a healthy baby in your arms?
It must have been, the more information you had about this, the more painful it must have become, actually.
Yes, because the more I found out how common it is, how easy to combat it is, you know, after the pain of losing your child, you then find out that it was completely unnecessary, that something could have been done to stop this from happening.
Well, it's interesting because in 2005, so it's what, 12 years ago, the then MP, David Cameron, presented a 4,000 signature petition to 10 Downing Street to standardise this testing so that politicians, the charities, members of the public who passionately campaigned about this, for some reason the NHS policy still remains the same. So we thought we'd contact David Cameron's office today and say, right, well, what do you think about this? Then obviously you were forefront of the campaign. His office passed us on to the Department of Health, Public Health for England, who said we cannot discuss what will happen next with the petition. That is a matter for the Department of Health. However, the last review by the expert screening committee did not recommend a national screening programme, as the test currently available is unable to distinguish between women whose babies will be affected and those who won't. As a result, many thousands of women would unnecessarily receive intravenous antibiotics during labour, and the consequences of this are unknown. We're now working with key charities, clinicians, researchers and infectious disease experts to find the best way forward to reduce the number of babies and families affected.
Yeah. Look, David Cameron presented this in 2005. In 2003, I presented petition number 10. Nothing happened then. Nothing happened in 2005. So no action has been taken.
Yet so what should happen?
The number of cases have increased by 33%.
But bearing in mind that they say that they're not actually sure of its efficacy because a lot of women would unnecessarily be given antibiotics, and we know that for the world at large, the over-prescription of antibiotics is causing major problems. So what's the answer?
Well, but it's not really a problem in this area, because the woman is given the cheapest antibiotic, which is penicillin. She's given it for 24 hours. The problem with antibiotics are they're broad-spectrum antibiotics that are killing a whole spectrum of bacteria. Penicillin is quite limited and specific, and they're not given long-term. It's only 24 hours.
Therefore, it seems almost like a no-brainer then, if you're saying that.
It's an absolute no-brainer.
It's like a decision made on something we don't know about, and yet the bit we do know about, which is that babies are dying. And if that's not enough, I mean, you've got a petition yourself which you've set up, and you've got all your signatures you need. With the help of your local MP, you took it to Parliament yesterday. What changes would you like to see made?
I would like to see the tests put in place for absolutely every pregnant mother in the UK, as it is in other countries. And equally as important, give them the information. I had no idea about Group B strep, and there is no reason not to give people the information about it. They're arguing about whether the test is worth doing, and in my view, it absolutely is. It could have saved my baby's life. But whilst you're arguing about whether the test is worthwhile, please give women the information so that they can choose and pay for this test and potentially save their baby's life. This is the test we're talking about. We've got 30 seconds left. This is the test, £35.
Yeah, the NHS test is not sensitive. 50% of cases are shown as negative, where they're not really. This one is called an enriched medium test. This is the one you can get privately, about £35. One of them will be available on the High Street in February, and they're both available online from the gbss.org website.
We'll put all of those details on the website.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Good luck.